12-year-old Vicky Van Meter today became the youngest female pilot to cross the Atlantic.
Excellent job, Vicky.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there for life after. I feel I failed you as a sister.
She was a little bit of a ghost of herself. The loss of her sister struck her really hard. There was this young woman in a wheelchair, and her body is just ravaged by Agent Orange. And she said if I could only have $300 to buy new books for my library. She became obsessed almost on how to get these books to her.
I want to find out how you care enough to keep going.
Em nhớ là lúc đó anh 5 tuổi thì bắt đầu em có nhận thức là mình khác biệt so với những đứa trẻ trong xóm. Chị chỉ ước gì mình có một đôi cánh để chị bay đi.
Do I somehow think that this will make up for everything with Vicky?
What about Thảo picture that made you become obsessed with?
Yeah. Well, I over time, what I remember, that story kind of shifts. But when I think back to that moment when I first saw her photograph, and she's sitting in her chair and she's looking straight into the lens of the camera. She's looking right at the photographer. And there was something about her gaze that I felt like she was calling out to me or challenging me in a way, or there was a confidence about her, but also a challenge in her. And I just knew I had to meet this woman. I just had to bring her those books and meet her, and maybe she had the answers I was looking for. Because, throughout the film, I'm trying to figure out, what has happened with my sister, why she made the choices she did, and then finding this other woman who's so driven in her purpose. And there was something about that photograph and her, and how simple her request was, and how driven she was, and that look in her eye, it hooked me. And I think, sometimes we have to be at certain places in our life. We have to be open to that. Maybe if I saw that photograph 15 years ago, I wouldn't have the same response. It was where I was in that moment and seeing that look in her eyes, and it just got me.